Karan has joined the
Hi,
session.
hi Arjun. How's it
Karan
going?
Dabrai is on Gro Pro, and Karan's going to be
Your
talking to
voice
us
is.
about hydroponics today.
Hi everyone.
Can you
Thank you
hear
so
me?
much for joining. Yeah, I can hear you now. It's much better. Can you hear me?
Yeah. People are very excited about this session. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't know about hydroponics, and they
I
want to know
hope it is
more.
informative and yeah, I hope people can learn something new from this today. So
Yeah. So I think,
I just want to give a little
Karan, why don't you
introduction,
start by
guys.
telling us about yourself and why you got into hydroponics? How is hydroponics different?
Correct. Hi guys, my name is Karan Dabrai. I'm the founder of Gro Pro technology. So we're basically primarily into providing hydroponic solutions. So we manufacture, install, and provide services for hydroponic setups of all scales. Whether you want to grow something, any leafy greens, herbs in your house, that's like a kitchen garden, like in your balcony or on your windowsill, or if you have a slightly larger space and you have like a terrace space and you want to grow your own leafy greens and herbs and be self-sufficient from purchasing them from the market, we can provide you solutions as well. Or if you want to go on a slightly larger scale than that, where you want to grow commercially and supply to the market. And we also have our own small scale rooftop farm here in Bombay itself, where we are growing different leafy greens and herbs and supplying to a lot of retail stores like Nature's Basket and Food Hall. So to get back to your second question, a little bit about why I got into hydroponics and what the issues are, is it takes approximately 60 hours from the time our food is harvested in the farm till the time it reaches us. So from the farmer harvests it, so from one vendor to the second to the third, to the time the produce reaches us, it's really not fresh. It is very, very stale. And moreover, to keep it fresh, to ensure that the produce sells, a lot of the farmers spray preservatives on the produce to keep it obviously looking fresh and healthy. And as a result of that, obviously, these preservatives are not good for us. So, what we're consuming is really not fresh produce. Now, moreover, what happens is the produce also loses its nutritional value. So, from the time you harvest the crop, its nutrition starts decreasing. So, the sooner you consume it, the better it is. The more nutrition you're putting in your body by consuming that particular food. So, yeah, since it takes 60 hours, that's a massive problem. Another issue is water scarcity. Water scarcity is again a huge problem with growing population. It's very, very important for us to make sure that we utilize the resources we have available, which is water, it's a limited resource. So we need to use it in a very efficient manner. So that's again a massive problem. We also hear stories read in the news of farmers committing suicide every year because of lack of getting a poor monsoon. So yeah, that's a massive problem. Again, tons and tons of pesticide sprayed on our produce year in, year out. We have absolutely no idea what we are eating, and in fact, on pesticides bottle, it's clearly written, this is poisonous and harmful for human consumption. We feel, just by putting water, by, washing it with water, the residue is going to go away. No, that's not true. So we are consuming pesticides. So it's best to take care of your own and control of your own food. Another issue is inconsistent crops. So our soil, the soil which we grow in, has a limited fertility, and it is not possible for the crop to provide you with the same yield cycle in, cycle out. The yield does decrease over a period of time. So in order to get that kind of consistency and yield, farmers are forced to put in exterior chemicals and things in the soil which are again not good for us. And again, it's also not good for the living organisms living in the soil. Also, the water table gets contaminated. So that's a massive problem. And 50% of India's population is dependent on agriculture in some manner or the other. So we really need to make sure that we find efficient solutions. Now, our yield is also, for a lot of crops, India is reliant so heavily on agriculture, and our yield for several crops is below the world average. So again, that calls for a massive. We need to find new ways to grow food and offer solutions.
So I think we had a few questions. Atish and Avisha
Yeah.
have joined the session. They're really
Yeah.
happy to be here. Arjun Sani says organic. But I think let's simplify the conversation a little bit for our viewers as well. I think
Sure.
let's talk about what is hydroponics, because I think a lot of
Correct.
viewers may not know what is hydroponics. And if
Yeah.
we had a viewer say that we wanted to hear it in Hindi as well. So if you can do a little bit of Hindi, easy explanation of what is hydroponics, that'll be great.
Sure. Hydroponics, I'll try as much Hindi as possible. So hydroponics, हम झाड़ मिट्टी के बगैर उगाते हैं हाइड्रोपोनिक्स में. हम न्यूट्रिएंट झाड़ को जरूरत होता है, हम उसको पानी में डालते हैं. एंड तो पहले हम समझते हैं कि मिट्टी में क्या झाड़ को मिलता है. Why is soil so important for a plant to grow? Is पहले तो मिट्टी में न्यूट्रिशन वैल्यू होता है, जो प्लांट को उनका जो फर्टिलाइजर है, उनका जो 13 elements what it needs, that is present in the soil. And the soil also provides the plant with stability, structural stability, so that it doesn't fall off. So just a simple example here. So this is a kale plant. So
Wow.
we provide the plant with this is coco peat, which is the raw material of a coconut plant, and it's an inert substrate, which means it has absolutely no nutritional value in it. And so we add nutrient to the water, and the plant gets its structural stability through this growing medium. So instead of this, you can also put in something like stones, pebbles, anything for the plant roots to hold on to. I have a very good illustration here, which I can just show you.
So Vegano Store is very happy to be on the session. They are saying interesting subject. Atish is saying he's very happy with your Hindi.
So I'll just explain a little bit about the way hydroponics is working. So this is a simple illustration. So you have a tank here with water. We add in the nutrition, what the plant needs, which is the different elements in the water. This is a motor. The motor pumps the water up, feeds the plant roots with water. Whatever the plant root doesn't utilize goes back into the tank. So we're recycling the water 100%.
Okay.
So this is called nutrient film technique, which is one of the ways of hydroponics, one of the methods of growing hydroponically.
Okay.
There are a lot of
we have
other
a question. We have a question. The question is,
Yeah.
what is the cost of setting it up? How is it calculated? And can it sustain on a Bombay residential building premises without any corrosion or harm to the crop?
So costs we can get to, like it obviously cost depends on the size. In terms of can it be grown in a residential building? Yes, we've have multiple setups all over Bombay, and in fact even different parts of India where we've set up in people's balconies even as high as 40-story buildings. So corrosion is not an issue. We also have set up in a lot of places like Bandstand, Nepean Road, where it's exposed to the sea breeze. Again, absolutely no problem with that.
And you have a location at your home as well, right? On the terrace of your home.
Yeah. So we have our own farm on the terrace where we're growing different leafy greens and herbs and supplying to retail stores.
Okay.
So yeah, that was. I hope that did answer your question. And that was.
We have one more question. We have one more question. So we have two more interesting questions actually. One is on hydroponics on a commercial scale is extremely expensive.
Correct.
The ROI is very long term. So then how does one take this commercial?
So commercially, now obviously the investment, if you're comparing it to growing it on soil, yes, it is a slightly higher investment because you are investing in infrastructure. That being said, when you're comparing it to soil, your yield is a lot superior. You're able to grow a lot more in a particular space. And it depends on what you're growing and who you're selling to. Now, at the end of the day, when we are growing hydroponically, our quality, you can't compare it to someone like a bhaji wala. Our quality is way superior. The nutritional value is way superior. We are completely pesticide-free produce. So we are allowed to charge a premium for that because our produce is of that kind of quality. And Another thing is we can grow a lot of things out of season as well. So, like I said initially, also the yield is a lot superior growing hydroponically as opposed to growing it in soil. So, yeah. So, in terms of ROI, it does become commercially viable because you are, uh, growing exotic produce and selling it at a higher price.
Sure. So, Ayurveda Holic is asking a question on Ayurveda and its relationship with hydroponics, which we'll answer a little bit later. But there's a question from Agrim Dudi. And Agrim asks, is hydroponics and aquaponics the same?
So, the method of feeding the plant the water is the same in terms of it is growing in water. The difference in aquaponics is the nutrient that we add in hydroponics. In aquaponics, the nutrient is the excretion of the fish. So the fish excrete a lot of nitrogen, which is one of the elements required for growing plants. So yeah, that's the only difference. So in aquaponics, you're using the fish waste for the nutrient supply.
Okay. And currently, you were discussing yesterday on Ayurveda or Ayurvedic principles. So can you talk to us about some Ayurvedic principles that you may be using in your work?
Correct. So, hydroponically, what we try to sell when we set up at someone's house is the main thing about the thing about hydroponics is to make sure that you are growing completely pesticide free. So, because like we discussed earlier, pesticides are very harmful. So we use neem oil, which I believe is a Ayurvedic product, which is used in a lot of your Ayurvedic products. We spray it on our plants. It's a natural repellent to any airborne pests. So we prevent using any pesticide. So neem oil is not a pesticide. It's a repellent to any airborne pests. So we use it as a precautionary measure. Now also, hydroponically also you can grow a lot of herbs, which I believe are obviously used for Ayurvedic application as well.
Okay. So I put the next question up on the screen. Atish Chabria asked, does the government recognize the benefits of hydroponic? Are they supporting you in any way?
The government has not provided any sort of subsidy for hydroponic farming. And yeah, there is no support in terms of subsidy from the government. The only subsidy you get is
if anyone from the government is listening, we need subsidies for hydroponics and we need support for hydroponics. Okay, so we're moving to the next question. A lot of user questions actually. People seem very interested to know more. Khushbu Garani is asking us, how does one start hydroponics at home as a hobby? And what can Gro Pro do to help us is my additional question for something like this.
Correct. So we have a standard system, something as small as 5.5 square feet, which is 5.5 feet by 1 foot. So that's literally the kind of space that you're lying down on the ground. When you outline the space you occupy on the ground, that's how much we can grow up to 18 plants in. So all we require is say 3 to 4 hours of direct sunlight, maybe it in your house or on a windowsill or on a balcony. And we can provide you equipment where you can grow your own plants at home completely without any maintenance. And
some tips. Can you give us some tips on how does one start it as a hobby? Like what are good resources to read? Where should one go to get information?
So the internet does have a lot of information, but what happens is on the internet, a lot of the information is about, for example, doing and growing hydroponically in America, using their climatic conditions and the raw materials available there. That being said, anyone requires any equipment, they can feel free to contact us. We can provide you with whatever equipment you require. And as a DIY for growing hydroponically at home, you would obviously require hydroponic nutrient, which if you don't know how to make, you would need to procure that online, or you can even purchase that from us. Sure. And you require the obviously good quality seeds, and you require a system to grow in. So you may want to make it by yourself, or you may want to purchase it online.
Okay. Sorry, one sec. My screen has gone off. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very much.
Seems like my screen has switched. Yeah. Okay, cool. switch the screen. Yeah. So there's another question from Dr. Saurabh Bhatia, and I'm going to get to Khushbu's question next. But Dr. Saurabh Bhatia asked, is income from hydroponics considered agricultural income?
Yeah. By selling any sort of vegetables, you are not taxed. You don't. It isn't. There's no GST on it, and yes, it is considered as agricultural income.
Okay. Khushbu is asking another question.
To the best of my knowledge, I'm no income tax officer, but to the best of my knowledge, that's
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So Khushbu is saying, can we use nutrients for microgreens as well?
You can use nutrients for microgreens. So typically, the seeds have enough nutrient till it reaches its first two cotyledon stage, which is the first two leaves. If you want to grow it beyond that, yes, you can feed your microgreens with nutrient.
Okay. Okay. So Karan, now let's move on to another sort of aspect of discussion. Can you tell us at Gro Pro what kind of stuff you grow, and what kind of stuff you make? How can one get access to your products?
Correct. So what we grow is mainly at our personal setup. We are basically into salad leaves, where we are growing iceberg lettuce, lolo rosso, romaine lettuce, curly kale, rocket arugula, Swiss chard, which is white, red, and yellow Swiss chard. We're growing some Italian basil, some baby spinach, and we're growing 4 microgreen varieties, which is radish, mustard, sunflower, and beetroot. So essentially, we make ready-to-eat fresh salads, and we also do home delivery. We also present in Nature's Basket, few food hall, and few other retail stores across the city. And we also have a salad mix, which is basically all these greens together in one box, which you can make your own salad at home.
Okay, and how does one get this? You get on your website. How do you?
You can DM us on Instagram, or you can you can call us on our you can hit the call button on our Instagram account, and you can order. So we don't have an online ordering, but you can DM us on Instagram, and we are also available in all the Nature's Basket and food hall stores, like I said.
Super. And tell us about the lockdown. How have you managed? Because I know we faced a lot of issues with going out, with sort of managing, and because your work entails actually physical activity, right? There are a lot of things you can work from home, but this is something you can't work from home, right? So we were discussing yesterday, but why don't you tell our viewers how you've managed through the lockdown to keep your business and your plants safe?
Correct. So fortunately for me, my small scale farm, my rooftop farm, is on the terrace of my building itself. So it becomes very, very easy for me to monitor. We have a greenhouse set up there as well. So it's completely protected from the monsoon, and obviously you can't protect anything from a cyclone because you don't know the intensity of the cyclone. But thankfully there was no damage done to any of our crops. So yeah, it was very, very easy for us it's easy for us to maintain because it's on my rooftop. And our clients also, there's been no significant damage as such. Wherever we've set up in a lot of residences all over Bombay, during the cyclone, there has been no damage as such. And that being said, during the lockdown, because people are low on staff, it's still been very, very easy to maintain the hydroponic equipment because it doesn't require too much of manual labor work in terms of watering daily and cleaning, and it's not messy at all. It runs on a motor and a timer, and if you connect it to electric point, it just does its job. So yeah, it's been fairly easy for our clients and us also to maintain a hydroponic equipment.
Okay. And in this time period, right? Have you seen an increase? So I have another question from Khushbu, which I'm going to answer. How do you grow microgreens? Explain the process to us. And do you provide your services in Nashik?
Yeah, we provide all over India. We can ship you equipment, and we can provide you technical support as well all over India. We in fact do have microgreen kits also, where you can grow your own microgreens at home. In terms of how you can grow your own microgreens, you just need to get seeds. You need soil. It's very, very easy, and you need to water them on a day-to-day basis. Microgreens are nothing but shoots, so it's not complicated to grow.
Sure. Super. So I think that's it from my questions. If anyone wants to reach out to Karan, as he mentioned, you can find them on their Instagram page. It's gropro.co.in, and you can DM them. They'll be happy to send you their kits or place your orders. One thing from us at Dr. Vaidya's, 2 hours ago, we launched a new product called Herbo Cleanse Fruit and Veggie Wash. So if you're ordering microgreens from Gro Pro, you can buy our fruit and veggie wash, the disinfectant for fruits and vegetables. I hope you enjoyed the session, Karan. Anything else you want to say before we sign off?
Thank you so much for having me, and stay safe.
Yeah, so from everyone at Dr. Vaidya's as well, stay safe, stay healthy, stay immunized. We'll see you tomorrow again at 6 p.m. Until then, take care.
See you.
Hi guys, my name is Arjun Vaidya and I'm the CEO of Dr. Vaidya's. I hope you like what you heard. If you want more content on health and Ayurveda in the 21st century, please click the subscribe icon. We've got a lot more coming for you.